talking of Google Plus and Google and Facebook, we're talking of the cost of using internet.
Right.
Now, you very well know that here in Africa, the cost of internet is quite so high. How is Google going to surpass this hurdle? How are you going to go over this hurdle of internet that is going so high? Yet, a number of people perhaps in Kampala, here in Uganda, who have access to internet are very few. We have a population of about 34 million Ugandans.
Right.
And the people who have access to internet are probably less than 1 million. Now,
Yes.
how are you going to turn around those numbers?
Yeah.
Because if Google Plus is a nice product and people want to have it, but they cannot have access to internet, then
Right.
how are you going to...
One of our core, really, we've got 3 objectives for us in Africa as Google. One of them is access. We want to remove barriers to access to the internet. And we work with governments, we work with regulatory bodies in terms of just ensuring that it is affordable. We know that cost is what prevents people from getting online. They want to get online. They see the benefits of being online. They want to engage. You want to engage in Channel 44, but the cost is what is prohibitive. So one is to make that access, remove that barrier, and work in various ways. So we will work with telcos to make sure that access to internet is affordable. The other one is relevance, in terms of just having content that is useful and meaningful. If one is in Uganda, they don't necessarily need a talk show about someone from the US that's not relevant to them. What is relevant is what the church is doing here and what the pastor is doing here. If we can get the church online, then that is a very powerful way, because people want content that is relevant to them. And then we work with developers and others to make sure that this content is content that is going to be there, not once, but all the time. How do we create content that is useful and that is meaningful to users? So I think in working through this access, really making it affordable, that's one of the things that we're doing, in working with government to make sure that we reduce the cost of internet. And I think that as we are seeing it, as if we do the last mile, we're going to see that the costs are coming down. We've seen that a lot of people still access the internet through their mobile phones. So it means that the mobile is a very powerful tool, and that people don't think about the cost when they're on their mobile. They want to have it. What we have done as Google as well with our products is enabled you to use low bandwidth or high bandwidth. Like if you're on a Hangout, there's a triangle on your right-hand side which shows you if you're in a place where the bandwidth is very low, you can reduce that low bandwidth to enable you to connect. So you don't see the picture, but you only see a very blurred image, but it enables you to hear the voice very clearly. And I think having products that adapt to our connectivity is a very strong, strong proposition that we give to our users.